Hi everyone. Today my friend Peter and I gonna talk about one of the topics which I think humanity has been asking for centuries. Do we really have a choice or it's just an illusion? So let's find out. What do you think, Peter? Do humans have choice or it's just an illusion which has been created for us that we have a choice to choose?
I think the first question, I mean, it is the question about free will, about the free will.
Yeah.
Does someone have a free will? The German philosopher Arthur Schopenhauer gave a very nice answer to that. He says, yes, every human being can want something, but the human being cannot decide about what he wants. Yeah, so he took the will as something which is there and can be followed, or maybe can be followed not. But the existence of the will was for Schopenhauer something which was there and had to be something where the human being had to cope with. Another aspect of it is the question, whose free will? If I say, do I have a free will? The question is, who am I? Yeah?
Hmm.
And if I look in my experience, my best moments which I had in my life were those moments where I really did not care at all if I was following my free will, because I was just in the flow. You know, there is a state of mind which I think everybody knows from his life. It is, you are totally focused on what you are doing and you are just on the flow, and you always do what you have to do next, and whatever comes in your way, you know how to cope with it, and you manage it, and you do things, and you are just in the moving. And this is for me a feeling of incredible freedom.
Hmm.
But if you ask me if it is my free will, if this body mind system with the name Peter is now the creator of these impulses and of this will, I would say I am not so very sure. Yeah.
What I think is, I will now give my opinion,
Mm,
what I have understood in my life is uh, maybe humans don't have free will, but we have the choices.
mm,
There's a difference
yeah.
between these two. And choices would be that you are given a playground, for example, to
Mm,
play,
mm,
and you have certain choices there to make.
mm,
And there are plenty. It's not like only one or two choices. There are
mm,
plenty for us as
yeah.
human beings. And it's, for me, it's very fascinating. You can play around with your choices because
Mm,
every moment,
mm,
every morning when we wake up, we have choices
yeah.
from big to small to make. What we're gonna do today, how we're gonna spend our each and every moment, basically, if we
Mm,
pay attention to that. But having free will, well, that's a little bit questionable for me. I think, I don't know yet, but
mm,
I think, of course, there's something else, a divine power or divine source, or
mm,
our knowledge is maybe not there yet as a
mm,
humanity to understand what exactly free will is.
mm,
And because to use something or to avail something, you have to know what it is first.
yeah.
You have to have the knowledge how it works and how it is. So that's why I think we don't have free will, but we have choices, which is a lot.
Yeah. Very good. I think maybe it is not necessary to be so absolute about
That's also
it.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there comes a funny story in my mind, which I was reading from a German spiritual teacher. His name is Karl Renz. He
Hmm.
is a very funny guy. And he was talking about free will. and he gave an example for free will. He says there are these, you know, I don't know the English word, it is a carousel, you know, which is turning around and children sitting in it or on it, and they are sitting in cars and so on, yeah.
Yes.
And he says, and he says, the free will of a human is basically he's sitting in this car and he is turning the wheel with great enthusiasm, and he is absolutely convinced that he is turning around because he is taking the wheel. He is holding it in the right
Everything
direction.
matters a lot. It's a matter of life or death. And
exactly, yeah. But Mr. Ren said his personal experience is that in his life, if he just lets go,
yeah,
yeah, everything is running, yeah, everything is running fine. Another question, another very nice story comes in my mind from an Indian spiritual teacher. He was called Papaji. He was working for, I don't know the English word, you know, if you are taking coals out of the earth, digging coals out
coal
of,
mine.
yeah, coal mining. Exactly. He was an engineer for coal mining, and he had to drive with his car through the Indian hills and so on. And he said he one day he was driving and he was very tired, yeah, and then he fall asleep, yeah,
Okay.
and then he woke up, yeah, and then he realized that his body, he called it his body mind organism, just continued to drive the car, and he had no accidents, nothing at all. So here he gave it as an example for the fact that there is, he said, there is a free will, there is an absolutely free will, but it is not the free will of the human being. It is the free will of a superior force. Yeah. And then another thing which comes in my mind is basically, you know, if I'm writing a novel, yeah, I write a novel and I want to sell it. Yeah, I want many people read it. So from my subjective experience and my feeling, like I feel and experience my life, I have a free will and I have a causative viewpoint on sitting down and writing and using discipline and writing and to do the best job I can. Yeah, just to work on this manuscript so long until I really say, okay, now it is so good as I can do. And another thing is I can find out where I can publish it. I can find persons where I can send them to. And then I can go to the post office and take the manuscript and give it there, and they send it. And that's basically where my influence ends. You know, I have a free will on writing and how I do it, but basically I have no free will to say, oh, okay, no, 20,000 people will read it and so on.
Yeah, makes sense, honestly. But here I would like to talk about this too, that do you agree a lot of human beings still either don't pay attention to this, that we have choices, we have the power of choice with us, or they don't want to think about it because of course then it makes them responsible as well for their actions.
Yeah.
So would you like to talk a little bit about this more, that how important it is for human beings to understand that we have the power to choose? Maybe our options are limited.
Yeah.
Again, when I use the word limited, doesn't mean that they are way too limited, but they are limited, of course.
Yeah.
I can't fly to the moon next hour, for example. So how important it is for our current climate, what we see on this planet, how humans are acting, to take the responsibility that we have the choices, the power of choice, and by taking certain choices, we can really change the world, literally.
Yeah.
So what do you think about that?
I think for giving an example, we are saying the sun is going up and the
Hmm.
sun is going down.
Yeah.
This is the reality in which we are living.
Hmm.
But we know the sun is not going down and the sun is not going up. The planet is evolving and so on. But we live in this reality. I mean, if I really look deeply in my way to experience life, I'm really sure that there is a causation which has nothing to do with this body-mind system, which is an exterior causation, which is in one way directing my life and the life of other people too. But
Hmm.
this is the thing which I know or which I feel if I think about it. But it is like with the sun is going up and the sun is going down.
Hmm.
Yeah. Even if I take this viewpoint,
Hmm.
I still know that I am in the there is a, let's say there is a theoretical absolute level from which to view at my life, and there is a relative level. On the absolute level, there is a causation, and I am just like the child on the carousel. But on a relative level, I am interacting with other human beings, and this feeling of responsibility is a part of myself, of my beingness. I feel responsible for what I do, and I have to be I have to be courageous enough to stand for that responsibility. And then to say, oh no, it is just all from a higher level. That's basically just a form of cowardness. Yeah, because I mean, our world would be in a much, much better condition
Hmm.
if everybody would do as if he would be really totally responsible for everything. And in the final analysis, I mean, who am I? Who are we? We are basically this source, this emanation point of life. And from that viewpoint, we are totally responsible. But not as an individual, not as this body mind system, but as the source of life, which is a spiritual thing or religious or theological thing.
And even on the daily basis,
Yeah,
um, I encounter very often that many of us, we kind of believe that things happen to us. It's not us making certain choices and
yeah,
we are getting the results of that.
yeah,
That really bothers me.
yeah, yeah,
Because I think, and we use this so often, like it's on a very high level. Like people are using it if they are not happy in their job or in their relationships or in with the politics, with the religion, everywhere. But they
mm,
think that, oh, but it's happening to me. It's I have no power. I don't know what to do. Yeah,
mm,
I would like to do that, but because
mm,
of that, because of that. Sometimes, of course,
mm,
there are certain situations where you are really bound or your choices are very limited. So it
yeah,
seems almost impossible to make a choice.
yeah,
But a lot of time it's just us. We are not making certain right choices. I sometimes like to go to a very simple topics. For example, if you are not sleeping well, you are being on mobile at night time, or it's very easy these days to to go to Instagram or YouTube or watching
mm,
one video to another. Next morning you are going to be tired,
yeah,
super tired. Most probably you're going to hate most of the people next day when you meet, or when you go to the work, you will
mm,
find your work even more challenging and certain emails which will annoy you even more.
yeah,
And you will feel that, oh, my work is awful, for example, or my relationship with that person is so bad. But the thing is, yeah, there was a time to make a choice to turn off your mobile,
mm,
put it on the side, and complete your 8 hours sleep.
mm,
Because that choice was not made at that time, now a lot of things are happening according to that in your life.
yeah. Absolutely. For me, it's so. Let's say there is this higher level of of causation,
Hmm.
and this higher level of total responsibility, which is basically an impersonal viewpoint. It is like someone who is creating the whole game,
Yeah.
yeah, and he is basically fighting on all sides,
Hmm.
yeah, and he is also the spectator, and so on,
You
yeah.
mean divine power, right? That's what
Exactly,
yours.
exactly.
Yes.
And let's take that as granted and say,
Hmm.
okay, that's the hard facts of life.
Hmm.
It's like that. Yeah, okay. But we are living here and we are living in a relative world. Yeah. And we basically, it is like with the sun. If I
Hmm.
say the sun is rising, I basically pretend, yeah,
Yeah.
as if I did not know it. Yeah, I know the sun is not rising, but I just say so. No, the sun is rising. Why do I say it? Yeah, because it is simple and it is my it is my playing ground for my life. And in this area, yeah, what is lacking most in our personal relationships, like I observe it in my life, is just that what you said, it is a personal responsibility, because on a relative level, it's me who is responsible for my
Yeah.
life. Yeah, it's always me, and it's also the other person. Basically, everybody is 200% responsible for his own life, and this ends all discussions about guilt.
Yeah.
Because if I am 200% responsible for my life and you are 200% responsible for your life, and if I say, Amma, you said something to me and
Hmm.
now I feel very bad,
Hmm.
you know, we both know it's a lie. Yeah,
Yeah. Well said.
yeah,
So I think we both agree on that because when we were starting this video, we didn't prepare anything. We were just like, let's go into it and let's see how we both feel about this topic. So I have the feeling we are agreeing on that human beings perhaps don't have free will, but we definitely have the power of choice.
yes,
Our choices can be limited, our resources can be limited to choose,
yeah,
but definitely we have the full power on our choices, what kind of choices we are going to make. Let's not mix this with both of things,
yeah,
that okay, we have maybe unlimited power, or we have free will. Perhaps we don't have, or maybe we have.
yeah,
That's, we are not 100% sure yet, but for the choices, we definitely have the choices. So
absolutely.
let's make the choices which lead us towards happy life, healthy life, and more peace and happiness. So
Yes.
with that note, I will say bye bye and until next time.
Okay, bye bye.